Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Ping. It's good to see you in here this morning. Hope everybody's having a great morning. Sorry, I was looking at something. Hope everybody's having a great morning. For the folks down in Texas, I hope you're not getting washed out. Sorry, hardware. Um, anyway, hope everybody's not getting washed out down there. Everybody's safe. Speaking of Texas, good morning, Todd.
Howdy.
How are you this morning?
Hi. How are you doing, Tom?
I'm doing good. I spent the day with my mom yesterday and just had a nice day. Good morning, baseball.
How's she doing?
She's doing good. You know, she's 92 years old. She's um, has her aches and pains. Good morning, Bumcrack. She's a hoot, though. You know, she's 92, and I think she does have a few little issues, nothing serious, and but she's got two friends that have the same first name, and it's always when she said she talked to one of them for an hour and a half on the telephone, and it was all about their aches and pains and ailments. And my mom was like, you know, I have my aches and pains, but I don't. That's not my topic of discussion every time I talk to somebody. And I said, well, Mama, you gotta tell them. You know, you're really not interested. Good morning, Sue. And I mean, that you're interested, but it's a lot of it's just, I think, attention getting because it's nothing really serious.
Well, I think people are going to talk about the relevant things in their lives.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we talk reselling. She'd probably shut us down in a heartbeat if she was in control of what we talk about.
Yeah, but if she came in here knowing that we were talking about reselling, she would be prepared for it. Okay, so you know this is a really selling show. Let's talk about our aches and pains and issues. You know, for the next hour, and see how many people stick around, unless they're old people too. Um, but anyway, it was a good day. We had lunch and um, you know talked about things about her car that she's.
If you include us and the people in the chat, I think, except for baseball, I think I've heard everybody else talk about an ailment that they've had,
Yeah,
myself included, yourself included.
but we don't talk an hour and a half about it
I don't
or an
know.
hour. No, because hopefully the show only lasts an hour.
That show where I had the talk about the diarrhea, the side chat wouldn't let it go.
Yeah, well,
We
that's
talked
because they're
quite a bit about that. Uh,
they they my mom is well read, and she's discovered YouTube, so she likes to look at you know cooking stuff and all of that kind of mess. Good morning, Flip. Jabus, I don't know whether I said good morning to you too. Um, so she's well, like I said in one of the shows, all of a sudden she said, "I've always wanted to go to Switzerland." I was telling my brothers about it. They're like, "We've never heard her say anything about going to Switzerland." So I guess we're gonna have to do a Swiss trip next year if it's safe to do so. Um, when y'all went on that river cruise, did y'all go into Switzerland?
it started at Switzerland.
Okay.
Actually, What was it? Something weird happened, and we had to join up near Switzerland in Germany. It's like the river was flooding or something, and so they wouldn't allow passengers to get on the boat until it got down into the southern Germany.
Okay.
But originally, we were supposed to embark from, I forget the name of the town. Yeah, Switzerland is lovely. It's a wonderful place to visit. Lots of history and very clean place.
Right.
Um, never felt insecure.
Right. So anyway, she's doing good.
Switzerland has one of the highest per capita income in the world. I don't know if it's more than the U.S., but I think so. Of course, there are more rich people in America than there are in Switzerland because Switzerland is not a large country.
Yeah. My mom my mom owns, well, actually my mom and dad, my mom now owns the building and the land that my brother's business sits on. So they pay her rent every month, which is the norm. For those that have businesses, like you know, if you own the property and your business is a corporation or whatnot, you pay yourself rent. Anyway, she doesn't get her check on the first of the month. It's whenever she stops by the office to pick it up because she lives not too far away from the office. And so last month it was about the 15th or the 16th before she went in there, and they they have it. They hadn't written her check out, and so just messing with my brothers, she happened to have it was a bill in in a legal envelope in her purse, and she pulled it out and she said she laid it on the desk with the face down so you couldn't see what was on the front of it. She said, "Well, this is your eviction notice. You're past due on your rent." And my brother picked up his phone. She said my brother picked up the phone and he told bookkeeping, said, cut Mrs. Hux a check. She's threatening to evict us." And of course, she was just having good fun with him because then half of the time I was there yesterday, she was complaining because she had a little bit of money to sitting around that she needed to find something to do with. But she's 92. She's doing good, and I'm glad to hear that. And I hope we get that. I hope my brothers and I get that from her, that we have a long life and are in relatively good health. We can. My mom does everything she wants to do, so she's mobility wise. She can do whatever she wants. I just hope that's what we're like when we get that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the goal. That's the dream.
People would say, "Don't you want to? Would you want to live to be 100?" I don't want to live to be 100 if I'm in a vegetative state, stuck in a hospital bed somewhere because I can't move. But if I'm in good health enough that I can do and go, that's another thing. And fortunately, she's like that. She's in good health, and yeah, my mom has a good sense of humor, and it's like that check. She said she didn't smile or nothing because she was told by a real estate agent that was trying to buy the property from her, said, should be getting basically twice what my brothers are paying for rent. And so that's why she was messing with them about. Good morning, Major Win. Uh, but like I said, she was doing good. So how was your day, Todd? Did you hit your goal yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday was a pretty good sales day. I've got 12 orders going out for about $330 gross. So That's good for me. That's above the 100,000 a year threshold. But I'm so far behind, I probably won't.
Yeah,
I don't
you will.
know. It's going to be close, but it's. I don't know. I'm still like 5 grand behind for the year to date.
Well, you can pick. You still got
Chastity.
6 months. Good morning, Chastity.
She made $5 yesterday.
So if
It
you
happened.
subtract half of that for taxes, you made $2.50 yesterday. Otherwise, you wouldn't have that $2.50. Lag. You know what? I sort of agree with you. If I was confined to a bed for some reason, I would have a small PC brought in because I don't do controller games, console games, and I would have a 42-inch TV up there, or no, that's not big enough. A 60-inch TV up there, and I would farm all frickin' day. But just normal. I don't want to be in where I'm on wires and hooks and all that kind of stuff. That's just not a way to live. Vintage has two sales for $36. Well, that's better than I had.
Well, you don't have just a ton of how many items are in your store, Tom?
Right now, I have about 115. That's getting ready to
See,
change though.
I got 16 times the listings you do.
Well, you need a Land Shark's in here. Land Shark. He needs to do a sale, and he needs to do some promoted listings, doesn't he? He could pick up that 5,000 he's short on his gold real fast, like. So, good morning, Hank. Good seeing you, and good morning, Lag. If I didn't say good morning to you. So, anyway, I hope all of us, especially us that's getting up there in age, are fortunate to have the quality of life my mom does. Health wise, mobility and whatnot.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, I'm 65, she's 92. That's what 27 years. I would love to be in her health at 92. Largest what? His largest sales lag. Todd, what is quarter is of the year is your largest? And I'm assuming sales.
Uh, it's generally like November, December. I usually do pretty good.
Now, do you start trying to load up with Christmassy kind of stuff, or you just same old same old?
I just sell what I can get. If it's Christmas, it's Christmas. If it's not, it's not.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. And like, do you pay your mom rent for office space, warehouse space, residence?
Yeah, Scott was teasing me the other day that I should put this on a spreadsheet instead of.
Keeping it on
I've been
paper.
I've been keeping track of the Waco demolition auction that I bought from. It still kind of bothers me that I didn't have a crew to take down the cabinets and all the furniture and the refrigerators, and there were 2 refrigerators and 2 dishwashers. If I had a crew in a warehouse, I could have made so much more from this buy
But how
because
much would
I bought it, but
right?
I just left it. There was
So
there was a deadline to get it out of there by Thursday evening, and I
well,
was still pulling stuff out on Thursday for sure.
you have two options. One, you can hire the people and rent the trucks to take all that stuff, or two, you could start building you a circle like rehabbers and appliance buyers and whatnot, and course, you won't make as much money as you sold it, but if you know you sell it to them at a reasonable wholesale price, if you want to call it that, let them do it. Let them spend the money, and
Yeah, probably what I should have done at the conclusion of the auction, just go take a bunch of pictures of what I wasn't going to take,
right,
and then immediately put it on Waco Facebook Marketplace and say, "You got to pick it up. Here's what you can get," and
right,
just take pictures of all those desks and chairs and stuff, and you got 2 days to pick it up or you don't get it,
yeah.
and I'll meet you. But I don't know. I wasn't that ambitious.
Well, that's if you're going to if you're going to buy stuff like that, you got to maximize your income off of it. And even though if you get a little bit off of it, um, that's better than just letting it go. Yeah, yeah, that's what he does, and other people do that too. I have a phone number for a guy here in town, and if I buy a unit and it's got appliances in it, I immediately call him and tell him to meet me there. A, I don't want to deal with moving it, and B, I mean, I saw one that had a washer, dryer, and a refrigerator all in it, and I got $200 out of it, which paid more than the unit cost, and I didn't have to deal with it. And he probably made 1,500 off of it, but
Yeah, if I'd had a 2 week clean out, I would have been able to make more because I would have rented some equipment or some help to
right.
get more of that big stuff out of there. But anyway,
So
I'm
that's
about break even on that deal.
and you still got a bunch of stuff to sell.
Oh yeah, I've only sold like 2 or 3 of the microscopes, and I got like 30 of them. There's a
And you
bunch
still
of
got to
stuff left to sell. A bunch of the robotic stuff
have you got it? And I'm
hasn't
being
sold.
serious. Have you got everything listed?
I'm pretty close. Yeah, it's
Because I
like
mean,
you see that stack of boxes there?
yeah,
There's like 12 there, and I already sold one of them for $45. So
those white boxes.
yeah, those are sealed boxes of robotic stuff. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Yeah, there's 10 there, selling for 45 a piece. So I still got a lot of profit to come out of this buy.
Right. Is that what you were talking the other Monday or Tuesday? You were talking to Scott about.
Yeah, I held up one of the boxes and
Yeah,
said I had to use the what do you call it, the stock photo,
yeah.
because I didn't want to open a sealed box to picture the contents.
Um,
Yeah, I spent about $1,200. Of course, I had to rent a storage unit for 2 months, so that's $120. So technically I'm still behind, but anyway, I will make a profit.
yeah, you will. It'll take some time, but that's
I figure that a bunch of that stuff will go when we get closer to the startup of the
school.
school year.
Yeah, especially homeschool. I mean, well, like the microscopes. What price point do you have the microscopes at? I know you got several different types. Um, Average price,
Majority around like 40, 45.
right? Well, homeschoolers. You know, That would probably be a pretty good deal for them.
Right.
So,
Through
people.
September, I should have good sales with
Well,
that
that'd be
stuff.
good. Maybe you can pick. You can catch up. Um,
So I have not had a summer slowdown. Everybody talks about a summer slowdown. Well, uh,
I
it
haven't
all
either because I haven't been listening.
it all dep yeah. It all depends. It all boils down to what are you selling? If you're selling swimsuits and scuba gear and fishing equipment, you're probably doing pretty good this summer.
Yeah.
But if you're selling sweaters and long underwear, you may be having tough times.
Unless you're shipping to Alaska and Canada. Because my parents went to Alaska and it was in June and it snowed like 2 inches on them while they were up there.
Yeah, Alaska's pretty cold all the time. You take
Yeah.
that cruise, you better have some warm clothes, layers. You got to wear. You do your layering.
My my mom said that the travel agent that booked it for them, and this has been quite a few years back, maybe 10 years back.
Yeah,
Uh,
Chastity, it's winter in Australia.
yeah, yeah, Australia. Um, the cruise. I mean, the travel agent said she went in July, and she said she still needed. She took a heavy jacket and sweaters and some thermals because at least she could put on thermals and then casual clothes over the top of it. And my mom said she was glad she listened to her because they needed. Uh, they left Charlotte with parkas, and they needed them about 2 days later when they got up into Alaska because they flew to Fairbanks, and then they drove around. Them and another couple that was with them. They drove all over Alaska for like 2 weeks. But anyway, and my mom, that's one thing my mom was talking about. She missed traveling with my dad. So I told Roberta we needed to arrange a few trips with her. Um, Another thing she told me, she wanted to go to Gatlinburg to see the Titanic exhibit. I think I was about 22 years old the last time I went to Gatlinburg. Anyway, so, you
I
know,
thought it was interesting. Craigslist Hunter just went on a trip to Alaska, and one of his clips, he was on that railroad from Skagway up into the gold fields,
right.
and I was like, I've been there, I did that, and I got video to prove it too. I need to put out some of my videos for my vacations.
You know who made all the money during the gold rush?
The people selling shovels.
People selling shovels and food and blankets and lanterns and all that. They're the ones that made all the money. They're the ones that got all the gold. Um, I was watching an article about it. One of the wealthiest families in Alaska, their ancestors made all their money um, selling all that kind of stuff. Dante and Pigeon Gate Forge, don't go in summer. Is it Pigeon Forge? I think I said Gatlinburg. Anyway, she wants to go see that, so that's just a weekend trip. But anyway, I'm gonna tell you what she tells me and my brothers and my wife and my sister-in-laws and my kids, our grown kids. Go while you can because you might wake up one morning and you can't, which was the case with my dad. So I labeled this show, What's Your Motivation? What's your motivation about being a reseller? Because it's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy side gig. It requires a lot of effort. And so, what's your motivation? Is it just to make money, supplement income? You know, Chastity and her girlfriend, they probably do it, and I can't remember. Well, I say girlfriend, her friend that came with her to Nashville. They probably do it for $1 bills so they can go over to the body shop and take care of the fellas. But um, what's your motivation, Todd? What's
Well,
your motivation?
I'm a little contrary to that because the way I do reselling, it's got to be the easiest job I've ever done. Uh, because I've washed pots and pans in the Veterans Hospital. I built forklift pallets. I taught school for 33 years.
That's the hardest job right there.
I drove charter buses. You know, I was a waiter in restaurants in college. And all that is more. I worked at Home Depot for 4 years, walking the concrete floors and climbing ladders and
Right,
lifting bags of mulch. All that was, at least physically, harder than
right.
reselling. Plus, I got no boss. If I want to make money, I'll make money. If I don't feel like making money, I don't have to work as hard.
And you're the only one that you can fuss at yourself because I should have not been on that show with Scott for 3 hours. I should have been listening or whatever.
But like those refrigerators and cabinets and desks and chairs in that school, if I was a harder worker, I would have pulled out a bunch of that stuff. But nope, nope, I'm not going to work that hard. So, but anyway, okay, back to your
But
question.
no, but that's you made a valid point. There's actually easier way to make money. It could require more harder work, but it's easier to the fact that you got to make yourself, which is with any business that you're self-employed. You got to make yourself do it. You got to make yourself list. You got to make yourself get out there and beat the bushes for real estate listings, whatever it is.
Well, I added it up in 2024. I made $34 an hour. Take home after taxes, after cost of goods, after yeah, that's take home spending money. Uh, so where where else can I work part time and make that kind of money?
You
I
saw that,
suppose I could go back and teach half a day.
right? Mr. Sadie said, I'm going to sell shovels in front of Todd's house.
There you go.
No, because Miss Gwen's going to be sitting on the front chair in a rocking chair with a 12 gauge. Get off my land.
Get off my yard, young punk.
Well, see, as I was talking to my son and daughter in law, Jamie says my motivation bills and the ability to stay near home. It's paid off yesterday when the daughter had a minor medical emergency. To me, that is, especially if you've got young children, and I was talking to my son and his wife that are expecting the baby.
Yeah, Lag says Amazon warehouse workers are at 28 bucks an hour. And I am 99.9% sure they work harder than I do.
Yeah. Um, I told them, that with having children comes a lot of damn headaches, and I'm not talking about the screaming, the crying, the dirty diapers, feeding, and all this kind. It's a point that they get sick and they can't go to school because they're running a little fever. So somebody's got to call in if you don't have um, somebody nearby to see after them.
So, yeah,
So
that's my motivation. I pay all the health insurance deductibles with my eBay earnings. I pay all the vacations with my eBay earnings. And you got to admit, we've been some cool places.
Yeah, y'all have been some cool places. You've been a lot of places. Uh,
Um,
somebody a while ago, somebody mentioned Alaska. It's wintertime in Alaska. I'm not Alaska in Australia. We went to Australia in August. Actually, we were on the plane in L.A. coming home when they announced that Princess Diana had been killed in a car accident. So that's how long it's been. But we went over to Bondi Beach, which is the like surfing mecca of the world, and it was like 28 degrees. Of course, there was no surfers out there, but their tour guide said, if we were out here at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, he would said you'd see surfers out here in dry suits. Um, but it was cold, real cold.
is a dry suit like a wetsuit?
Yeah, but it's thicker and water doesn't penetrate it.
Oh, okay.
The regular neoprene, um, I said a big word, uh, neoprene wetsuits like you see on TV, the scuba divers that's wearing it. It allows a little water to penetrate it because your body temperature heats it up
Right.
and it keeps you a little bit warmer. Because even though you're in the Bahamas and it's 80 degrees, 90 degrees on the surface, you get down into the water, it starts chilling. So, but they said, they wear dry suits. Let's see. Chastity said something about, um, what did she say? Exactly. Anyway, she's using it. She wants to develop it so she can leave her full time job. So what's holding you back, Chastity?
She already told you.
Wait a minute. Um,
She's paying her mortgage off early.
oh, is that what she said? I didn't see that.
Yeah,
Well, that means you need to. I mean, I would.
she's
It's
been
growth so
talking about
fast.
that for 2 years.
Um, well, you know what? You just need to triple your listings and go ahead and blow it on out. Uh, only temporary lag is maybe when college. Okay, what did lag say on the price? Maybe we should. Like the you talking about like Josh's super duper lister. Um, I don't know. I'm not talking about the Josh's the listing. Yes, you can get if you've got the stuff to sell, and that thing will do like they say it will do. Then yes, you can throw up a lot of listings. But
Craig,
people have still got to deal with the customer service, and they got to still deal with shipping. And I don't like dealing with people, and I don't like doing the shipping. Well, that's the biggest thing because you're going to get shut down if you don't do that shipping like you're supposed to.
Craig sent me a message on eBay right now about some earrings. He said, "Can I wear these if my ears aren't pierced?" I said, "Yes," with a little tape. Thank you for your interest.
Good morning, Kent.
Craig's
Yeah,
always Craig likes to mess with me.
yeah. Just block him.
I should.
Uh, I can't
Except
say
Craig actually has bought something from me before.
has he.
Hmm.
Well, I have too. Did he leave you good with feedback?
I think so. I don't remember. That was 3 or 4 years ago.
Because I don't care how much of an ass that Kent is. If I bought something from him, he would get good feedback. No kidding aside, great shipper, quick, whatever. Because I'm not going to play around with somebody's feedback. Um, so Lag, I know you got plenty of money, but what's your motivation for dealing with this? Is this a side hustle off of your your printer industry gig, or is this all rolls together?
Robin, you want a dollar amount, or do you want a percentage amount?
Can't I would rather drive my Saturn until I can't drive it anymore than go out and buy a freaking new Mercedes S Class. Because the expenses on it is out of this world. The taxes, the taxes alone in North Carolina is more than I pay for gas for a year in my Saturn. Good morning, Texas. Is Texas the one that's got the cows, Todd?
They have a longhorn mascot.
Okay, I didn't know whether I was going to ask him what a bale of hay costs down there because it's climbing up here. I was talking to my brother
I
yesterday.
thought you were talking University of Texas.
Oh no no no! I'm talking about livestock.
You've got to be more
Okay, yeah, that's right.
specific.
You're right. I forgot we're in Texas where there's that university. Um, anyway, oh, you don't have any cattle? Okay. I was just curious what it was running down there because my brother says it's climbing up here, the price.
Let's see.
So I told him this piece of property I have, we need to get some grass going on it.
Over the last year, gold has gone from 2,400 to 3,300. So it's up about 30, at least 30% in one
Wow.
year.
Wow.
That's better than I did with my mutual funds.
I've got my brothers, I've got my boys into, buying a coin, a gold coin, when they set aside X amount of their money just to buy gold coins. Or save, if they get a bonus or something like that, buy one of the 1 ounce deals. Um, because the little bit that we have that we bought since you and I have been talking about it is almost tripled in value, and it's just sitting in a safe. It's just sitting there. Um, Now it could go back down, but it's not going to go down that much. Yeah, I have this little. I bought. It's like an eighth of an acre. I bought it at a tax auction just off of a fluke for $75. The people next door to me, they rent it. They pay me $50 a month, and they have chickens on it, and they sell the eggs. And I said, because I was going to just let it sit there until somebody wanted to buy it, one of the adjacent property owners. And they said, I said, they said, we'll pay you $50 a month to rent it. And I'm like, that's kind of high, isn't it? And he's like, no, we'll make $300 or $400 a month off of the eggs that we sell. I'm like, okay, baby. So it don't matter what kind of piece of property it is, you can you can find a way to make a few dollars off of it. No, like you know what, dude? Uh, I'm scared to ask you that. And no, that's not. I guess that's chicken shit as far as that's paying nothing to make the money they make. But no, it's an easy 50. So anybody else got any revelations to why they deal with the customers and the shipping and I know that it's a means of giving shoppers a way to get rid of all the crap that they buy. You like to shop, so you need to sell it so you can shop some more. Chick eggs, Chastity, around here, a dozen eggs was like $8. It was out of this world. Neighbors down the road rents got double rate, but had to put a runway in for a small aircraft. Weed to Colorado is apparently good business. Oh Lord. Uh, if anybody watches Oil Man, I think it's called Oil Man. Uh, a drug dealer's landed an expensive airplane on a damn road, and a tractor trailer truck that was not expecting a daggum aircraft, an executive aircraft, to be sitting in the middle of this road. So it destroyed the airplane, hundreds of $1 million worth of dope, and that was a new storyline for the show. Landman, that's it. Thank you, Chastity. That's such a great show. I love that. I have just over half an acre, but I'm a bad farmer. Yeah. Uh, no, it's actually like $15 a year because it's like a triangle, and you only have like 10 feet of road frontage, so you could put a driveway in there, and it's got sewer and water available. So you could put like a mobile home space or a tiny house on it or something like that. But that costs money. The dollar is not going to collapse, Mr. Sadie. $2 for one egg? Dang. I think they're filming the second season now, Sue. If the Keeping Up with the Kardashians can run for 15 years or whatever it's run, and that's crap, they should be able to do this one. Pedlin says we just added 6 more chickens to our flock of 23. Two breeds. We were just are considered endangered. That is why we're adding them. Cool. Do you sell the eggs, Duane? Are you serious? Well, I haven't eaten a Waffle House in years.
Was that your stomach that just growled?
No, that was the chair.
Oh,
No, I got up this morning and made uh excuse me, bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches on toast sandwiches this morning.
sounded like you had gut bubbles.
No, it was this chair. 18. Yeah, but you live up north, lag.
There it goes again.
That's a stupid chair.
Oh, okay.
If I move my big behind around in it, makes a little
Lag
distance.
says, "Oh, that was me."
You know what, Felix? I would not even know where to buy a camel from. I guess I could go to buyyourcamelhere.com and if that's not one, like I'll have it copyrighted and claimed in a few minutes. And buy a camel, but um, $2.50 a dollar, $2.50 a dozen. Dang, you're giving them away. Are you making? Are you claiming enough to pay for your feed off of them? I love blueberries and huckleberries. We used to go pick the when I was a kid. I was the last time I was down in Conway, which is where I was born at and my family's at, or my extended family. Um, we drove down a road, and I was pointing out some spots to my mother and wife. Um, Grandma, that was Grandma Hux's favorite huckleberry picking spot, and when you get old, little things like that cause memories to flash back. Yeah, I heard raising camels were real expensive. Tori, you listening? Get you some camels, honey. Since you like to ride.
There's a ranch close to Wichita Falls that has camels, and you can you can tell when you get to the property because there are no limbs or brush on the trees as high as the camel can reach. So it looks like 17 feet of uh, tree trunk, and then
Right.
it's green on the top. So it's a real interesting look to the trees.
When I was a teenager, one of my friends, his mom was a big animal vet, and you never knew what was going to be at their farm. I was down in Chester County, um, because the state animal control people would take these animals from these shady circuses and whatnot, and they didn't have no place to take them, so they would call her up and she'd say, "Bring them on." They had cages for damn lions and bears and all that kind of stuff. So you might drive through their yard one day and there's damn giraffes grazing with the cows, and then they would find homes for them, like in zoos and things like that.
Yeah, there's several herds of goats in Texas that are used for like clearing out salt cedar and stuff like that.
That's a good question, Sue. Um, to me, the gold, like the 1 ounce bars and the larger bars and coins, um, to me are for long term. I think my stash of mini bottles of liquor will be worth more than gold and silver if crap hits the fan. That's my opinion. And this is all information purposes. Do your own due diligence on anything that's said on this show or any of the other of the Queen City Picker shows, because it's all opinions. But you got a point there. Because we've got, I don't know what they're called. They're like little, like they dropped gold onto like a hot plate or something, and it splashed um, for, I don't know what you call it, bartering, trading, just paying for stuff. But how do you buy with a good bar? I don't know. I've never. I don't know how you would do that, and I hope I never really have to worry. I hope the economy stays to a point, and I never have to worry about doing that. So, like I said, the larger stuff is for long term growth. Do you agree with that, Todd, or not?
Say it again. I was down a rabbit hole.
Okay. Gold bars. Sue wants to know how do you buy something with it, and how do you get change? And I told her I'm not really buying the gold bars for because crap hits the fan. My mini bottle liquors are going to be worth more than that gold is if the shit hits the fan. But I buy it for long term growth. I buy the 1 ounce bars and coins and whatnot for just to sit there, and then in the future, Oliver will cash them out to buy his Ferrari or whatever.
Yeah, gold is just a place mark for your buying ability. Like I could buy the same amount with my gold now in goods and services as I could 10 years ago when I got it. But I can't buy the same goods and services with a dollar that I bought 10 years ago.
Right. So that's
But yeah,
my
most businesses will not trade in gold. You have to go down to you have to um, sell it online or to a an online dealer or sell it uh, to a
the
peer.
yeah. I need to I need to make a little scroller across the bottom that says, "If you got gold or silver to sell, call Todd."
Shoot, if you got a gun and a crew, you can sell it online. I mean, on Facebook Marketplace, not have to pay any fees.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if I put a gold coin or a silver coin on Facebook Marketplace, I would get a ton of interest.
I've got to spend some time doing some research on it because as I mentioned before, there's a auction company that's up near Hickory, North Carolina, and they've always got gold coins and silver coins, and they always seem to go for a lot. So I got to start sitting down and looking at the actual coin and do some comparison. You know, because it's got Jane Mansfield on it from 1962, and it's 1 ounce gold coin, and That makes it worth more than the gold value of it. Because, like I said, it seems like it's all crazy prices. See, Mr. Felix, he could be a mule and haul it in, haul gold in, because they can buy it cheap over there. Yeah, that's it. Like Todd said, it protects the value of an item, whereas any currency's not, because inflation hits it.
Yeah, there's a ton of people selling silver on Facebook Marketplace.
Um, yeah, congratulations, Felix. My oldest son turns 28 today. Yeah, crazy prices. Way crazy prices. Well, isn't she greedy? What does she want? Some gold? Real estate in downtown London? Um, but yeah, congratulations. 25 years. God, it'll be 30 this year for us. Yeah, 30 years for us in September. September 22nd. If you want to send me silver to celebrate our anniversary, feel free to do so, Felix. And I don't want any of that daggum silver either. You know, where you can go on Timu and buy a gold bar for $1.27. Good morning, Glenn. And Glenn, I love that post that you made this morning about free porn. That was funny. I sat here and laughed about that.
Bum, 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 bum.
No, I did not. I was 35, 36 when we got married. 36. Yeah, 36 because I'll be 37 this year. Weren't you the one that posted it on Facebook? Jesus. It was a meme and it said, "Don't if you get a post that says free porn, don't click on it cuz it messes up your spell checking and something else." And then everything else in the meme was spelt incorrectly. So if that wasn't you, somebody's hacked your channel or your Facebook page. So anyhow, it was funny. Um, oh, that wasn't you? Okay, I need to go find it. But anyway, it is 10 o'clock,
Do you know where your children are?
and it's parking shop time. We had a restaurant. We had a grocery store in town called Park and Shop, and every one of their buildings is the same architect was the same architectural style. It was, it had like your sidewalls would go up, and then it had like a Quonset hut roof on it, and then it had like a facade that you know that you had Park and Shop on it. But it was a distinct building. and every one of them was the same way. They were all freestanding. Anyhow, their commercials would say, the announcer would say, it's 9:59, and then the commercial would immediately kick in and say, it's park and shop time. So there's a little memory about Charlotte. So anybody have anything else? Todd, do you have anything that you would like to discuss this morning before we wrap this thing up?
Uh, no.
Okay. Because I've
Have
been,
have a good day, everybody.
yeah. Anybody else got anything else they'd like to throw out here? No? All righty then.
Buy low,
Well,
sell high.
yeah. So thank y'all for joining us this morning. Hope you weren't too bored. I don't think there was much lag this morning. Lag. I'm not talking about you, lag. I'm talking about lull in conversation. Um, he'll probably send me a bill now for $15 because he's copyrighted the word lag. Uh, so anyway, y'all have a great day. Don't forget about Todd tomorrow. Same reseller time.
Yep,
Over here,
time to
Stacker Channel.
slap on the high karate and go visit the ladies.
Yeah, go buy something good because you're getting low on stuff to list.
I have been digging through the death pile. I made some pretty good progress this week.
Real quick, like you see all that crap over there? It all
Yeah.
needs to be listed.
Well,
My wife said you need to get it listed and get it put in the file cabinets. Damn it.
there you go.
So anyway, guys,
S-
go
You
ahead. What?
screwed up your camera. Now we're seeing your toes and your belly and your.
Yeah, at least I got pants on.
Thank the Lord.
Yo, yeah, that is, and it's all. I don't know what. There's some bicycle stuff. Just a bunch of stuff over there.
You still got bicycle stuff you haven't listed?
I've got stuff I'm still sorting through because I don't know what the hell it is. That's the reason I think I'm going to just lot it up. If I can fill a large priority box with it, and then put it over on whatnot, so I can get the cheap priority shipping and just blow it out that way. Because there's a lot of stuff I don't know what it is.
Well, that's what Google Pix is for.
Yeah, I'd just rather fill up a box and sell it that way.
Lag says, okay, shut the show off.
Like, God, I love you. All right, I want to listen to my producer there. So anyway, y'all have a great one. Bye.